Hey guys, I'm Ella May. Make sure you check me out on the Bootleg Kev Show.
Bootleg Kev Show, special guest, Ella May.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I haven't seen you in years.
It's been a while. It has been, I think it's 20. You know what's crazy is I met you in 2017 before you even I want to say before you really had music out.
Yeah, I think we were, I want to say it was maybe like 1 or 2 EPs.
It was like very pre-boot up.
Yeah, pre-boot up. Yeah.
I don't remember who brought you up to the station. I might have been someone from Interscope, and they were just like, hey, we just want to introduce you to her. She's going to be the next thing. And Jesus. And then here you are making the R&B music I grew up loving.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It kind of took a while to make this album.
It did, yeah.
And you know what I love about your album is when I saw the track list, it's hard to make an album with that many songs and it be fire.
Thank you.
But you made us wait.
Great.
So I feel like you made us wait, right? So it's like, okay, cool. You made us wait and you delivered. So
it wasn't super intentional that I made everyone wait. I think everyone thinks that I disappeared off the face of the earth and then came back. It really was Boot Up, Trip, my debut album, end of 2018, and then for the whole of 2019 I toured, literally January to January 2020 I toured, and I'm not really a record on the road. I need to be stationary and set, so I wasn't in the studio. So 2020 was always the year for me to record anyway. It took a little bit longer than we planned.
Pandemic.
Obviously. Yeah, and the pandemic. I really didn't want to put something out during the pandemic and not be able to work it properly. I feel like everyone at first the virtual stuff was cool, but then months in, everyone was like, I'm sick and tired of seeing.
So tired of it.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure I would be able to work it properly. So yeah, it took a little bit long, but we're here now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got some crazy records on here.
Thank you.
Fallen Angel, I want to say, is one of my favorites.
Yes.
I love the outro at the end.
Yes. Me too.
The Roddy record is crazy.
Thank you.
What would you say, where did you kind of pull your inspiration from for this project?
Yeah, I think it was really just my life in real time. I think with my debut album, the studio was really still quite new to me, and I was figuring out what I wanted to sound like and what I wanted to say. And this album, I feel like I was super confident in what I wanted to say and what I wanted to sound like, and the message that I wanted to get across. And really I was just going in and kind of diary entries almost, and whatever I felt on that day is what came out.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Did you go through a breakup during the pandemic or something?
I did, yeah.
So that there's all you need is a breakup, a good breakup.
But to be fair, my album's not a sad album.
It's not, but there are some moments,
Yeah, there's moments.
There's moments for sure.
But I'm also learning that life happens in moments. Happiness happens in moments, sadness happens in moments, success comes in moments. And obviously those moments come back. They, it's like a roller coaster. But yeah, there's moments of, I think more so moments of happiness, but there's definitely moments of sadness on the album. Yeah.
How old is the Roddy? How long ago did you guys do the Roddy record?
The Roddy record. I want to say we did it last summer, so it's not that old. Yeah, but fully finished it probably top of the year. But Roddy and I, we actually did another song first. Was supposed to be for Mustard's album. And then we kind of came back around and we had this was one of the last records we did on my album. But from the beginning, the start of me recording, I was like, I really want Roddy on this album because I'm such a big fan. So must have made it happen, yeah.
Do you are you conscientious of I said that you make the music I grew up loving, and I feel like for a while we kind of were missing R&B, true R&B in terms of the forefront of music. But I do feel like it's coming back.
I agree.
But I feel like you had a lot to do with that. Are you conscientious of that? Because I feel like you kind of filled something that was missing. You know what I mean?
Thank you. First of all, that's a big compliment. I don't feel like I was super, super, super aware at the time. I think it's really just that's the music I grew up on too. So it's really just my influences and who I love and the music I love. And that's just the music that comes out because that's just what I loved listening to and what I love making. I don't think anyone could have ever really planned what happened with Boot Up or what happened with Trip. I think it was just clearly something that the industry was missing and what people wanted. And I definitely do feel like it gave R&B a lot more mainstream attention at the time. And then since then, R&B's kind of been taken over.
Back, yeah.
But it's still a very hard genre. If you're not a crossover, it's still, even though we're making waves somewhat, it's still a really hard genre to work. And I think as an R&B artist, you just kind of have to be aware of that and just try your best to like navigate. It's quite hard to navigate through.
Yeah, like shout out Money Long. She just went number one with like a real traditional R&B record. I'm like, this shit is number one in 2 formats, and it's
very, very hard to do. Like,
very hard.
I don't think people understand how hard it is to do in such like a pop or like rap based industry.
100%. Talk about like, how did you spend your pandemic? Were you here in the States? Were you back home in the UK? Where were you at?
I was in the States. I couldn't actually leave because I was right before the pandemic happened. I was in the process of getting my green card.
Okay.
So like while you're in the process, you're not supposed to leave because they can deny you like re-entry.
Right.
And then obviously COVID happened, the pandemic, and the embassy shut. So if I would have left, I
wouldn't come back.
I would have got stuck at home.
Yeah, I know a few people who that happened to.
Yeah, and I was in the middle of making an album, and I didn't want to. I could make an album at home, yes, but
your team's out here, right?
Everyone's here, so it was just like it would have been really hard for me to do that. So I was here. Yeah, I didn't go home. The first time I went home was November that just passed, and that was the first time in 2 years. So yeah.
With Boot Up being such a massive record, how much did you pay attention to all the remixes?
I paid attention. I saw a lot of them.
T-Pain caught a fucking body.
Killed it. Absolutely killed it. But he kills, like, I don't know why everybody was acting so surprised.
I
like,
wasn't, but I was just like, yes.
I feel like he doesn't get enough credit at all. Like, T-Pain is actually a GOAT. Like, I don't think people understand.
I agree. He's we would like to say he's him Duncan.
Yes.
Timothy McVeigh.
He is
him.
He is. Like, I feel like he really created like a new lane. When he came out in his prime, there was no one really, really, really doing what T-Pain was doing. And he can actually sing. Like, I don't think people know that he can actually sing. And he performs his ass off. You know what? I've never seen him live.
He's one of my favorite live performers.
I need to see him live, yeah.
Like for his size, the way he be moving around and popping and locking, and I'm just like, Jesus.
I've seen videos, but I've never actually experienced it in person. Yeah.
How, like, when we talk about Mustard, I feel like somehow we just talked about T-Pain doesn't get enough credit. I feel like Mustard doesn't get enough credit for him being the CEO that he is, the guy that he is, and just like the prolific. I mean, you know, not a lot of people have had runs like Mustard. How involved was he with this project? I feel like he was heavily involved in the first project. Like how. Like, are his fingerprints all over the album?
Yeah, he definitely, I think he was definitely more involved in the debut. But he still produced, I want to say 6 of the 15 on this album. I think I'm correct. And I always there's nothing that I do that I don't play him. Like, his opinion is really, really, really important to me. And he's never steered me wrong. So he's still super, super involved, whether it's being like, you know, the label owner of 10 Summers or whether it's production wise, he's still super involved, and he's not like scared to tell me that he doesn't like something, and I'm not scared to tell him I don't like something. Like, it's super just organic and natural. So he's very involved. Yeah.
Did you feel like I feel like there was in like that 2018, 2019 range, you were on a lot of hooks. You were kind of like the go-to.
Do you think so? I don't feel like I was.
I'm thinking of the Meek album.
Yeah.
I feel like you were on a couple of hooks, right?
Not really.
Not really? Maybe I'm just thinking of the Meek.
Yeah.
I feel like for a while there, I just heard you on the radio all day.
24/7. Yeah, no, because you know what it was? It was really wild because Boot Up happened and then Trip happened, which was all over the radio. And then my album happened, and then Meek was like right after my album 24/7. So the timing of it,
I just felt like it was LMA radio for like 6 months. It was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I know everyone was tired of it. Like, we don't want to hear this anymore. But yeah, no, Meek was really the main, 24/7 was the main feature I did. I haven't really done many features, to be fair. When
it comes to people, because I'm sure people hit you a lot to do a feature. Like,
you know what? People actually don't. As much. I feel like there's like a misconception that people think like so many people hit me. Not so much.
Wow.
I don't know
surprising.
Why. Yeah.
They need to start. Hey man, tap in. Y'all gotta tap in. What's up, y'all? We gotta stop the interview real quick to tell you about our good folks at BlueChew.com, fellas. When it's time to get that fucking going, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to hit the sack with a young lady, you need that confidence. Trust me, maybe you had a bad day. Maybe your anxiety's through the roof, your stress. Well, that could fuck up everything when it comes time for you to get down, you know what I'm saying, with a young lady or a young man, whatever you're into, or young et ceteras, whatever you like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, BlueChew.com is to the rescue. Blue Chew is a unique online service. It delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form at a fraction of the cost, and it's fire. It works. Trust me, Blue Chew's tablets, they help men achieve harder, stronger cocks, stronger erections, and it combats all forms of ED, all right? That's right. If you're feeling a little like, man, shit ain't been right down there, listen, that Blue Chew come to the rescue, get your dick right, bud, all right? Trust me when I say it. Hey, listen, Blue Chew, it's an online prescription service. It's the best part. There's no weird, awkward visits, awkward conversations at the doctor's office. None of that. It ships right to your door in a discreet package, all right? It's super simple. Go to bluechew.com. You can consult with one of their medical providers, and then once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And it's all online, all right? That's right. And the best part is you can go to bluechew.com right now, use my promo code bootleg at checkout. That's use the promo code bootleg at checkout, and you're going to get your first month of Blue Chew for free. Just $5 shipping. Trust me when I say this shit is lit. All right. I love Blue Chew. Maybe you're married. Maybe you just going through it at work and you just feel like you need that extra little boost, that extra confidence, man. ED hits a lot of men in different ways. You know what I'm saying? That Blue Chew will have your dick right, my G. Booming. Booming. Thor's Hammer. BlueChew.com. Get your first month for free with the promo code bootleg ASAP. Go do that. What is like the music that you're currently listening to that's like inspiring you that like, you know, you're just a fan of?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. I was just talking about Blast Project the other day.
Shout out to Blast.
I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
His melodies are so cool.
And he killed the Kendrick album.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes. Kendrick's album. I haven't listened to it in its entirety yet.
So you haven't sat with the whole project yet?
Not yet. I feel like I need to be in a certain like headspace in order to properly take it in.
It took me like 3 days to like sit down because I'm like, I can't just listen to this.
It can't be background.
Yeah, I gotta like really sit down and like hone in on this because I feel like it's such an important album.
Yes.
I don't want to listen to it passively. So I finally did. I was like,
how'd you find it?
Man. If I would have listened to it passively, I would have been like, but it's amazing.
Yeah. I haven't had the chance to, and I want to do the same. I want to sit down and actually properly listen to it, and I haven't been able to do that yet. So I will obviously at one point. But I know I don't expect anything less from Kendrick.
What about just on the R&B side? Any fellow ladies that you're digging?
Any and everyone. Kehlani just dropped her album, which
shout
I love.
Out to Kehlani.
Yeah, shout out to Kehlani. I listen to a lot of Kiana Lede.
Shout out to Kiana.
Like you said, Money just went. I know she just put out another single. Who else is there? I love Snow. Even though Snow's album is almost a year old now, I think, but I listened to it like it came out.
Yeah, Snow's music is like very like. I just feel like it's like when you listen to an Adele album, you're like, I could hear this song at a wedding in like 150 years. Like I feel like Snow's music is very in that.
Yeah, I think you can like me personally, I can be in any mood. Like whether I'm happy, sad, like energetic or whatever, and Snow's music always just makes me feel like I'm like at peace, and I love that. I feel like you need like a balance of like the turn up music and yeah. So Snow, I'm a big fan of Snow. Jasmine, of course.
When you're trying to turn up, what is the go-to?
City Girls.
City Girls. Shout out to the City Girls.
Yes, I love them.
They're amazing.
They are.
Yeah, they're touring. I think they're touring with Jack Harlow. Yeah. Shout out to Jack Harlow.
He's
doing arenas.
He's killing it. Yeah.
Killing it.
I'm really happy for him.
Very surprised he didn't know Ray J and Brandy were brother and sister.
I mean,
I feel like everyone knows that.
I mean, we feel like everyone knows that because we know it, but like I don't think it was like obviously I know that,
right.
But like maybe he didn't grow up listening to Brandy, and I feel like the internet tries to like kill
they
people
definitely
so
make
quickly. It's not a big deal.
It's like,
leave him alone.
Maybe he didn't get around to like tapping in with Brandy. Like
he said he was like no one's ever told him that in his life.
That's crazy. Yeah, shout out to Brandy. She's a legend. On this project, you also got Latto on the album.
I do, yes.
Latto has been she's such a sweetheart. Like,
she is.
She's one of my favorite interviews I've done in a long time. She was hilarious.
Yeah, she's actually like so personable, but just so like super down to earth. She's really funny, like you just said. Yeah, I met her at a studio. We were using the same studio, just like randomly, and she was next door. And I just went in there and I was like, "Hi, I'm a big fan." And she was like, "What are you like?" You know, she was really sweet to me. And
she says, "Ciao."
Yeah, she was really sweet to me. And I didn't say the song that she's on. I had that from the start of the recording process. Like that was one of the very first ones that I recorded. And just never had a second verse to it. And I was just like, I think this is one that needs a feature. And by the time we got around to like figuring the features out, I already had Roddy and I already had Lucky. So I was like, I want a female. So
kind of a different bag for her to be in too, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so interesting about the song too, because I think when you look at like LMA featuring Latto, you're like, what's that? What in the world does this sound like?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But she killed it. Like literally, when she sent me back the verse, it was everything I would have wanted her to say, and I didn't even have to like. I don't like to tell people I want you to say this. Like, you know, I want you to do whatever you do best, because that's the reason I would, want you to collaborate with me. And that was the greatest part about that, because the song obviously spoke to her in the same way it spoke to me, and she killed her verse. I was like,
yeah, she killed it. Your writing process, break this down, because I always see artists, like I'm in the studio, obviously we're in my recording studio right now, so I always see like I feel like nowadays when it comes to rap, people punch in their lines. You're obviously a prolific singer. You make prolific music.
Thank you.
Are you writing ideas at home? Are you writing the beats? Like, how is your kind of like process when it comes to like coming up with ideas? Obviously, you can collaborate with other writers, but in terms of the stuff that you're like putting your pen down on, like what is that process for you?
I don't really write at home. Like if I have an idea, I know like a lot of people will like start writing something if they see something or whatever. I'm not really that type of person. I think I have to hear like a beat or hear some chords or something like that in order for inspiration to like come. I like to work off of whatever the beat or the chords make me feel like. Because like I don't want to have an idea and go into the studio and be like, this is what I need to make. It feels very forced when I do it. I know that works for some people. I rather just catch the vibe to what is actually going on in the studio at that time and figure it out from there. That's really what we do most. We kind of like, whether we're working to a beat or whether we're starting from scratch. If we're starting from scratch, it'll be like, okay, well, kind of how do you feel today? And then we'll go from there. And then obviously the chords will either be moody or they'll be happy. But I like to write in the studio.
What's the song on the album, if you had to pick out one song that just came the easiest to you, where maybe you had something on your chest, you just had to get it off, and it just was like, it just happened so easy?
Break My Heart was the quickest one that we wrote. It literally took, I don't even think it took more than half an hour, but it's funny because that's like one of my favorite songs on the album. It's like, it's quite simple. Like the chorus is, if I had to choose who could break my heart, it would be you, which is a nuts concept. Everyone's like, girl, what? But
it's kind of sweet to say.
No, but like I think people are misconstruing it. Like I'm not saying like I'm going to choose you to break my heart. I'm saying if I had to choose, like worst case scenario, if I had to choose, it would be you.
Is that so? That's like something you actually went through, right?
Yeah. This was my life in real time.
Pandemic heartbreak.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
How do you get over heartbreak in the pandemic? Because it's a very, it was a pretty wild, I mean, I don't know if you were in LA a lot of the time.
I spent quite a bit in LA, yeah.
Because LA, shit got kind of crazy out here.
Yeah, I was just speaking about that.
Like the first like few months, it felt like we were in a movie.
In Gotham, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think, to be fair, I wouldn't say it was like a super, super bad. Like it was heartbreak, yes, but it wasn't like a super, super bad breakup or anything like that.
It wasn't ugly.
Yeah, it wasn't ugly. So it wasn't as hard as it probably seems. And I have great friends and great family. So I think that's important. Like, even though they're not physically around during the pandemic, but like FaceTime makes you feel a lot closer, obviously. And yeah, I don't really have like a step-to-step how I did it. I just kind of took it day by day. With it. Yeah.
So it wasn't anything crazy. Like you didn't get cheated on or anything.
No.
That's good.
Not that I know of. No.
The cheating shit is like the hardest thing to get over. I've gotten cheated on in my life before, and it is very, it's bad.
Do you feel like, I had this conversation with my friend the other day, do you feel like you could stay with someone after they cheat? Like, do you think that the relationship is solvable almost?
In my case,
you personally, yeah.
I tried it out.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But there was a kid involved.
Okay.
But it definitely, since I lived through that, I would say probably not. I would say like once that trust is probably violated, like
it's just hard. It's probably hard to go back.
It's just, I think it's harder. And I think like, I guess listen, circumstances are, they change like, I guess case to case, but I would say like, it just depends. I guess it depends on what happened, how toxic the situation is. Like,
we hate toxic situations. We don't want any toxic situations over here.
Yeah. So I think like, if it's like something like, I don't know, I was a part of a pretty terrible relationship. So, it was something that like, I just try to make work over and over for my kid's sake. And the best thing I ever did was just like, you know what I mean? So now I have my son who I have custody of, you know what I mean? So shout out to my son.
That's amazing. Yeah. Shout out to your son.
But yeah, it was definitely, I would say like if you get cheated on, I mean, look, everyone's different. I guess like if the circumstances are crazy, then you should probably bounce. You should probably move on. What about you? Have you ever taken someone back after cheating?
I haven't been cheated on to my knowledge.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Well, shout out to you. Yeah. You're fucking lucky.
I know that's not the case in most people's life. Yeah.
We just had a topic on the radio where someone called in and they found out that their husband cheated like 10 years prior. And like, he pretty much admitted to it. I don't know.
But never cheated again after that.
Right. So she found out that like 10 years prior,
yeah,
that he had cheated. And she was like, what should I do? What would you do if, like, let's say you were in a relationship, hypothetically, you're with a guy for 7 or 8 years and you found out in the first year he cheated, but you found out he hasn't cheated since. Would you kind of be like how, that's kind of a weird situation, right?
It's a 50-50 because it's like, obviously I understand why he didn't tell her, but it's also like, well, you've kind of lied to me for all these years. So
you're pretty comfortable with lying to me.
Yeah. So how can I actually even prove that you've never done it again? 1, but 2, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could, I would much rather you tell me when it happened
right away
and let me deal with it and figure out whether I want to stay with you or not. And then we go from there as opposed like, but did she find out like she saw something and she asked him and then he admitted it, or he came out and was like 10 years ago?
He admitted it.
Like he came out to her and said 10 years ago, I cheated. Yeah, I don't know.
It's an interesting predicament.
But like you said, what works for one doesn't work for the other. Like 100%. It's very circumstantial. It depends on the case. So I hope for her sake she finds happiness wherever it is.
What is your go-to binge watch TV shows, LMA?
Oh, Euphoria.
God, love Euphoria.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. But I really don't watch that much TV, to be honest. I think somebody was just telling me I need to watch, what's the show called? I can't even remember. I think Euphoria was probably the last thing I binged, yeah.
Was your high school like even 10% like Euphoria?
Not that I know of. Either I was completely out the loop and was like not part of the cool kids, or no, it wasn't. But I do understand how it's changed. I graduated high school 10 years ago.
Social media, I think, has really like just changed. Like I let my son 16 and I let him watch Euphoria, and you know he's a good kid, so I was just like, yeah, dude, but that shit better not be going on at your school.
Right. What did he say?
But he said that he's like, no, there's kids who fucking will come to school super high. He was like, there's kids that sell pills. Like, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I think the most that happened when I was in high school was like weed. I remember one time some of my friends came to school drunk, but like it was such a one-off that like they made it so hot, like they made it so bait that they were drunk that they got found out. So this is how you know you don't do this on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah, because you got caught.
Yeah, you got caught, but they were just doing the most. But that was probably the only time I remember that, other than people like who would smoke after school, I guess. But
yeah,
like,
shout out to Zendaya. She's
incredible.
Jesus, amazing.
Like, it's actually wild.
Amazing. Yeah. She should get all the awards for that
100%.
show. Like her acting in that show is amazing. Yeah. So just Euphoria.
Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. I really don't.
What about any classics? Like you ever watch Friends or anything? Or?
My Wife and Kids.
I'll
binge watch My Wife. I love My Wife and Kids.
I don't even know. I've heard of the show. Which guy's in it? Who's in it?
Are you actually being serious?
Let me just look up who's in it. Listen, there's so many.
Tisha Campbell.
My Wife and Kids. Is this with Damon Wayans?
Yeah,
it's a Damon Wayans show.
I don't know which one. I get confused by all of them. Damon Wayans. It's Parker McKenna when she was really little.
I remember the show.
Yes.
Yeah. I never watched it though.
Oh my God. How can you not?
I don't know. I'm not really into like, besides like, if I'm like going super old, I loved like Martin.
Yeah.
Seinfeld, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. But like kind of the newer sitcoms, I just kind of just didn't tap in with.
You know what I can always binge watch and I'll never get tired of? That's So Raven.
That's So Raven. See, I'm totally. I mean, I know the show.
Yeah.
I know who. Shout out to her, Raven Simone, but I never watched it.
That's So Raven was like almost like I thought I was Raven.
My kid would watch The Sweet Life with Zach and Cody.
Yeah, I watched that too.
So that was like, you know,
Sweet Life was good. Like Disney Channel era. So like Lizzie McGuire.
I'm obviously older than you too.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
but My Wife and Kids, I could always binge watch.
Shout out to Damon Wayans.
Yes.
Have you ever seen Major Pain with Damon Wayans?
I haven't.
You got to watch that movie.
I was going to say, is it a movie? Yeah.
It's a movie, yeah. Shout out to Damon Wayans. Yo, we got to stop the interview real quick. Shout out to our presenting sponsor, Odd Socks, baby. Hey, man, listen. All I keep on my ass is Odd Socks draws. All I keep on my feet are Odd Socks. You know why? Because they're the most comfortable socks in the world. And I'm not just saying this because they promote the podcast. I'm telling you, the socks are crazy. They got all the licenses. Look, they got Halloween socks. They have Back to the Future socks. They got fucking Twizzler socks. Old Dirty Bastard socks. R.I.P. to ODB. All right. They also got their drawers if you want to wear some underwear with pizza on them. Whatever you need. But my favorite are the Odd Socks Basics, baby. These are just the plain boys. These, to me, are the most comfortable socks in the world. All right. So trust me when I say go to oddsocksofficial.com. Thank me later when you go to checkout, buying the most comfortable socks in the world. Get some WWE socks too. I just saw a sneak peek of the new WWE line and they're fucking insane. Insane. Go to oddsocksofficial.com. Use the promo code BootlegKev. That's one word together. BootlegKev. We should talk to them about shortening that. BootlegKev is the promo code. You will get 20% off at checkout. One more time, go to oddsocksofficial.com, save 20% off using that promo code BootlegKev. Let's get back to the interview. It's crazy too, because like I feel like we just had Junior Choi up here, who's obviously from the UK, and we were kind of talking about how, like, you know, for so long I feel like obviously your genre of music is very receptive in the States, but for so long I feel like you know, it was like a little harder for UK artists to kind of break over here, kind of doing UK shit. But I feel like, you know,
drill is kind of changing.
The drill, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, obviously, drill started in Chicago, but like the UK drill scene is what inspired the Brooklyn drill scene. And I just feel like right now in the States, like the UK's got its fingerprints on everything. Like,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and I think like I don't know what happened, but you know, obviously like yourself, Ed Sheeran, Adele, you know, you guys are superstars. But in terms of just like, you know, I guess. Because I feel like I know Afrobeat is, you know, a lot of that's, but I feel like that popped off in the UK first, and then it came here.
Afrobeats or drill you talking about?
Afrobeats.
Yeah, that's been a thing
in the UK forever. Yeah,
forever, literally. I think so. Like you said, social media makes things a lot more accessible and makes people, like, as crazy as it is, because there's a lot of stuff on there that we really don't need to take in. Of course. It's also great in terms of just like being able to reach people, or things being able to reach you that you would have never known if you were just, I don't know, in the middle of America somewhere randomly and you don't really travel or something like that. So yeah, I think social media plays a big role in that also. Yo,
it's crazy. Since your last album came out, TikTok it's became a thing.
TikTok is wild.
I don't feel like listen, there's no music for TikTok, but I don't feel like you're like a TikTok artist.
Not really, no.
At all, right? But like it is the things that go viral on TikTok, there's no explanation behind them. It just happens. But like, is the label like in your head about TikTok now?
Oh Lord.
Because I can only imagine it's extremely obnoxious, because I can't stand TikTok. It's such a fucking headache. Yeah. Even for me.
I don't have TikTok on my phone. I have a TikTok. I don't run it. But it's funny to me because I just saw something where I think it was Charlie XCX. And she was like, this is my 8th TikTok that my label are trying to force me to do, blah, blah, blah. She was joking, but like I felt her so much I understand it, obviously, but a label are trying to make their money, of course. And
that's where the attention's at.
Yeah, that's where the attention is right now. And I'm sure in a couple years it will be something else. And the kids love TikTok. And like,
it's just such a ridiculous platform.
Yeah, I've never personally gotten into it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, obviously, but it's just
thank God, because you'd be on your phone just scrolling, because they got the best algorithm in the world on TikTok. Yeah. They got to figure it out.
Speaking of algorithm just in general right now, I feel like on social media is just like really weird.
Super weird.
I'm trying to understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Twitter is a wild place right now.
Twitter's always been the wild, wild west, though.
It is.
Twitter gives people a platform.
You know what? What I hate about Twitter is if someone you know is a creep and they like some nasty shit on Twitter, you see it. It pops up on your feed and it says so and so liked this, and I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't want to see this.
Yeah, no, I think Twitter is a weird place because I think Twitter gives people a reason to think that their opinion is fact.
Yeah.
I think that's what's wrong. And don't get me wrong, Twitter is hilarious. There's parts of Twitter that is just like, will have you really, really dying. But anybody types anything and it can go viral, especially now. And then they think that like
their opinion
they think that
they're experts on stuff.
Or they're super educated about something. And it's like, bro, your opinion isn't fact. It can be, obviously people agree with it, yes. But now we've got people walking around thinking that they like know everything. And it's just like, Right.
Are you a fan of Elon Musk trying to buy Twitter and fix it up?
I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I don't know enough about him to have an opinion.
Do you have a Tesla?
I don't, no.
No, not yet. With these gas prices, you might need to...
Listen.
It's crazy.
I don't understand. Not even just gas prices, though, but just
everything.
like food, like inflation in general. It's just like, it's actually wild right now.
I went to buy hamburger meat and I was like,
how much
what?
Was it?
It was like fucking $19 or something.
What?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inflation. There's a baby formula shortage.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
The gas prices are crazy. Shit's wild right now.
Still kind of in a pandemic.
Did you buy, like, are you a homeowner, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got to buy a house. Mm-hmm. You probably got a good interest rate then.
Yeah, I did.
Because right now the interest rates are...
Yeah, no, it was a little while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, then you're rich. You're up. You're super up. I mean, you're rich anyway, but like you're up on the house for sure.
I mean, I guess.
You're for sure up. Yeah. I just bought my first house. So, well, not my first house ever, but my first house in LA.
Congrats.
It was expensive.
I think, and honestly, and I've lived now in 3 major cities. Obviously I'm from London. I've lived in New York. I live in LA. I like to like go back and forth, but I'm so used to the city that like if I was to go down south, and I understand it's like so much cheaper down there, and then you can get a lot more for your money. But like I just have to. I don't think I can function in somewhere that's not like a city.
Right.
Like a major city.
Right.
And they're always expensive. Like,
which out of those 3 places, obviously London is home, but just in terms of livability, what do you like the most? New York, London, or LA?
I'd probably say here.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I go to New York and I understand why everyone's there is like an asshole low key. You know what I mean? It's a very like, imagine like everybody's just walking to work and you're next to them, and then you have to take the train with everyone.
London's quite similar.
Everyone's in a rush. No
London's quite similar.
like when, like, you know, you always hear like in New York, if you get mugged, like everyone just keeps it moving. And I'm like, I went and I was like, dude, I get it now.
You see some of the stuff that happens like in the subway in New York. Like if you like on Twitter, I'll just see the wildest stuff that happens, and it's just like people just like if you're on the train, right? And someone like starts breaking out dancing or just doing random stuff, obviously for social media, but like New Yorkers are not even affected by it at all.
They mind their fucking business.
Yeah, they literally, you would think nothing's going on.
New York is like the king of minding your business. It is the capital of minding your fucking business.
Yeah.
You go to New York, people don't give a fuck. They are trying to get home. They're trying to get to work.
I get it though.
Yeah,
like,
I get it too.
I understand it. I completely understand it. And I think London's similar. It's not, I don't think it's as like, it's definitely as fast paced, I would say, but I think people are a little more, what's the right word?
Hospitable?
Yeah. Like if something's happening, I think someone will at least try and help or whatever else in New York.
Do you feel like London gets a bad rap on food? Because anytime I ever hear about UK food, everyone says it's super bland and it's like...
yeah, but I understand why. I think you have to obviously know where to go.
Where
but
to go,
I think that's anywhere.
That's true.
And I think that a lot of the places, even in any city actually that I've been in, a lot of the good food is not obviously in the touristy parts. That's like the
I tell people to get off Yelp.
Yeah, that's the generic food.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're trying to appease a lot of different people because this is a tourist area. You have to go to like the hood or go to like the real cultured places in order to get good food. I think that's most places that I've been, to be fair.
Last thing, break down just the name of your album.
Heart on My Sleeve.
Heart on My Sleeve.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much what it says. I think I wear my heart on, not even I think, I know I wear my heart on my sleeve. Yeah. I
just in general. Do. Yeah, it was a great album.
Thank you.
I'm assuming there's videos already shot that are coming soon. Tour coming?
Yeah, we're planning it right now. So definitely.
Are you excited to get back on the road?
It's my favorite part of all of this. So
it's touring. Wait.
Yes.
Going and seeing the people sing along to your songs. Yes. Is there like anything that feels better than that when you're performing a song and you got,
unmatched.
All these people singing word for word?
It's literally unmatched. It's the best feeling ever.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Ellen May, I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Go get the album.
Yes.
And go watch My Wife and Kids.